Hey, Steve Noble, Noble Moto. Got the 2012 883 Iron Sportster up here on the lift today. And today we are going to remove and reinstall the rear wheel. That's because I need to put a new rear tire on the thing. Yeah, you can do this. You are going to need a lift. Not like a whole lift like this, but like I have like a little scissor jack here, or there's the ones that go underneath it, or you're going to have to get creative with the floor jack and jack stands. Either way, you got to get the rear end up in the air. You don't have to get way up in the air, but it's got to get up enough that the tire will clear the fender. If you have ideas of like taking it sideways and taking it underneath, it usually doesn't fit. There's a little bit of room, but don't expect major things out of that. Other than that, it's pretty much basic hand tools. And then, of course, we're going to cover aligning the rear wheel and setting the belt tension while we're done. Because, yeah, we got to cover those things because it's important and people need to know this stuff. Yeah, so let's move in for a closer look. Okay, first thing we're going to want to do is jack the back of the motorcycle up. So I have a nice scissor jack in here. Now, if you were doing this on a lift, of course, be careful you don't overload your front ratchet straps, because even though you're picking the back end up, it's going to lift the front end up just a wee little bit. A lot of these Sportsters have a nice heavy plate on the back of the frame where the rear master cylinder's mounted on there, and the frame rails are nice and solid there on the bottom. So you got a good jacking point. So, and remember, we're only going high enough to pick the back end up. Check your ratchet straps, make sure you didn't overdo them. Give the back wheel a spin. Hey, we're up in the air. All right, we're good to go. From here, you can take your 1¼ inch wrench and loosen your rear axle. So there's like a little E-clip here, a little spring clip. You can take a flathead screwdriver, cup it with your hand, twist the screwdriver sideways. You cup it with your hand because these things shoot off. Put that in a safe location. Now you can take the axle nut out. Now, your axle might be in from the right side. Harley likes to do that because I think they want to put the clean side on there, so you might have to take your muffler off. If you do, sucks to be you. If you do, it is what it is. But I would recommend when you put your rear axle back in, put it in from the other side. It makes your next tire change much easier. And we're going to run these cruddy things through a parts washer. Now from here, we're going to loosen our axle tensioners. Now, I try to be very methodical about this and loosen both axle alignment or belt tension nuts, whatever you want to call them. I try to be very methodical about it and loosen them up the exact same amount. That makes reinstallation and realignment a lot easier. So, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 4 quarter turns, which makes for 1 full turn. So we're going to go to the other side and do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So now we have a little more slop on the belt. So from there, we should be able to get the rear axle out of there. So because obviously the axle or the muffler is in the way, I'm going to take a socket extension and put it in there and just give it a little tap tap to get moving. If you grease this axle up the last time you put it in there, it should slide right out. Now remember, there is a spacer here and there's a spacer on the left side. Now remember, there's a spacer on this side and then there's a spacer on this side and there's the rear bracket. So when we pull this axle out of there, spacers are going to fall. Hold the wheel up with your hand. Give the axle a pull. Again, put this in a clean, safe location. Now from there, you should be able to roll her back just a little bit. Oh, nope, sorry. Got to take the belt off first. From there, you should be able to roll her forward just a little bit. Slide the belt off the pulley, just like that. And the left side spacer fell. I'm going to take the right side spacer out. Should be able to just roll it right up off of there. Now that you got the rear wheel back to here, you can either lift the back of the bike up or a little bit more, or here is where you can actually grab it and scoot the bottom towards the left side of the bike and roll it on out of there. Don't drop it on your foot, it hurts. Ta-da! Just like that. Now for reinstallation. We're going to put the brake caliper bracket right up here in place. Then we're going to put the brake caliper. We're going to slide it back onto that pin. Actually, here, check us out. I want to make sure this pin is nice and clean and greased up. That's going to slide in there. Make sure you don't pinch or smash the boot. May have to twist it back and forth. There we go. And we're going to slide that up in place just like that. I'm going to take this mounting pin and slide it on in there. Again, make sure it's greased up. Just thread it in there by a few turns. You ain't got to tighten it up yet. And if you didn't take this off during your rear wheel removal, you don't have to put it back on. Now, slide your rear wheel in there. Roll it up into place. Put your belt on. Take this spacer. Oh, we're going to clean it up first. Clean all the road grime off of that spacer. We're going to take our spacer. We're going to set it in place there. Then we're going to take our caliper bracket and slide it backwards. Whoop, also into place. Then we're going to take our rear axle, all nice and clean, lubed up. We're going to start it in there. Whoop, spacer's going to fall out. Put your spacer back in there. Take this spacer. This one's sometimes tricky to get in there. Scoot the bottom of the tire over is my go-to trick, and then slide it in there and scoot your tire back straight. You've got the left side spacer. Hopefully you can get it up in there. Now you can muscle the rear wheel up in the air, or you can slowly lower the jack down and lower your bike down to where the axle lines up. In order to do that, you have to figure out where your 1/2-inch ratchet and extension went. If you don't have this option with the jack, you can just grab the wheel, lift it up, muscle it around. It's possible to do by yourself. It's a lot, but it is possible. So we're just going to lower this down. Look at it from the side there. Look at it from the side there. It should slide in pretty much just like that. Oh, I have to go back up just a little bit. That's okay. Slides through just like that. I know, I made it look easy, didn't I? Now we're going to take our spacer and our axle nut, put the nut up on there and thread on. Now, technically, you should align and tension the rear wheel according to the service manual. Here's a little trick, though, I like to do. Snug the rear axle up. It just seats everything in there. Make sure it's all square. There. Snug it up. Now break it free again. And that just kind of squares everything up. Make sure it's all straight, square, all that. There's no other misalignment weirdness. From there, we can go back to our axle adjusters. If you remember, I turned them one full rotation. So we're going to go back to that exact same amount. So, that's about one full rotation on that side. And about one full rotation on this side. Now, we'll get our belt tension tool. Now, we're going to use this little window right here, and it's going to be hard for you to see it. Hopefully you can, though. But as I compress this to the 10-pound mark, the belt should move about a ½ inch up, which it does. Disregard the glove, it's just stopping the muffler from reflecting on the camera. So we have the belt tension set just right. From here, we are going to do the alignment. And that is from the center of the axle pivot bolt to the center line of the rear axle. About 18 3/8. Compare that to the other side. You can get in here with a tape measure. Sometimes easier said than done, but you can get in there. Thanks for putting the hose right in the way. And go right to this center line of that axle. 18 5/16. So this side needs to come out about 1/8 of an inch. Or I'm sorry, yeah. So this side needs to come out about 1/16 of an inch. So we're actually going to loosen the rear axle. It's still loose at this stage. So we're going to tighten this bolt up. Right there. All right. Check it again. Eighteen 3/8. 18 3/8. All right. From there, you can torque down the rear axle. Now you can take the little E-clip, pop it back in there. Now on the front of the caliper, you have this little metal tab here. This thing is what catches the pads right there. The old one's in pretty good shape, so we're just leaving it in there. But from there, with our pad pistons completely recompressed, we're going to take our pad, slide it in there to where that front catches that metal slider there. Slide our caliper all the way over. Do the same thing on that side. There we go. From there, we can find the pin that we took out of there. There it is. And we're going to slide that back in that little hole that was right there. Now, disclaimer, I have aftermarket shocks on here. I have Hagons on here. Also, a huge fan of B-Tubo. With your stock ones, you might not be able to get an Allen wrench through here, which means you're probably going to have to either unbolt the caliper and move it around, or like loosen up the rear wheel and move the whole thing forward, or undo your shock mount. So, sorry about that. I didn't design it. Either way, from there, you can take your Allen wrench and run that in there until it stops. And once that's in there, you can take your little flat-headed set screw, jam nut, whatever you want to call it, put that in there, thread her in until it stops. That keeps the pin from backing out. You don't have to kill it, but, you know, tighten it up. There you have it. Your pads are on. Now pump your brake pads a few times and reset your piston and everything. Now, if you had to take this pin off of here, this is a weird alignment pin. This is another one of, I don't really know why they did it this way, but they did. If you just tighten this up, you might find when you press the rear brake, the caliper just flexes the next week, and then you don't actually have any great braking pressure. So what you actually have to do is pump the rear lever a couple times, make this thing seat into place. Then you're gonna have to hold down the rear lever and then torque this to spec. I am out here by myself, so I'm gonna pump it up and then I'm gonna zip tie the lever down. So there, after a couple pumps, I can feel it seated in there. I'm actually going to put my electric impact on the rear lever because it's pretty heavy, and that should hold it in place. And then you can go and torque this down. Well, we gotta run it in first. And then torque this to spec. So if you look at that bolt, it has like a little rounded end on it, right underneath the head of the thing. And as you tighten it up, that head hits the side of the caliper, and that locks it into that alignment slight angular position. And for some reason, that holds it in. Again, I don't know why they do it that way. Seems a little janky, but it works. Either way, once it's on there, torque it to spec. Now let off your brake lever, take your zip ties or your weight or whatever it was you used. Give it a second, let everything kind of relax, then press your brake lever, and you should immediately have pressure. If you don't, something's wrong. If you do it and this caliper's going each time, you're gonna want to redo that bolt. But there you have it. Rear wheel's on. Belt's aligned, it's tensioned.